Hi everybody, I'm Nicole, and today I'm going to show you a couple of super simple practices that you can do to relieve head and neck tension. So I'm going to start in a seat. Um, I'm sitting on a bolster. You can prop yourself up if your hips and hip flexors are tight. You can also do this in a chair, but go ahead and find a comfortable seat. Sit up nice and tall. Align your head right over your spine. And then we're just going to start by moving our head from side to side. So I'm looking over my right shoulder, coming back to center, looking over my left shoulder, back to center. You can keep going like that. You may also experiment with placing your hands on your chest and just adding a little bit of pressure. It's nothing crazy, just a little bit of weight on the chest. And then keep going. See how that changes the experience of the pose for you. Stretching into the fascial sheath now. And you just go from side to side for 5 to 8 rounds. Something in that range. Moving slowly and mindfully. You might notice that one side of the neck feels a little stickier than the other side. Just something to notice. Eventually coming back to center when you're ready. And then for this next one, I'm going to place my hands underneath my sitting bones and straighten my arms, sit up nice and tall. And then just gently releasing my left ear over to my left shoulder. Now I can feel a stretch on the right side of my neck and the top of my right shoulder. And then coming back up to center. Again, checking that my elbows are not slacking here. Going to the other side. So now I feel a nice stretch on the left side of my neck and the top of my shoulder, top of my arm a little bit. You can do this at whatever pace you want. I like to hang out for a couple of breaths and just really feel the stretch. You can stay longer or shorter than me, it's up to you. And feel free to pause this if you want to keep going with this stretch. You can do it for a couple minutes at a time or just a couple of breaths. Again, totally up to you. And the next one, so we're going to do that similar movement that we did, placing the hands on the chest. But this time we're going to move from side to side. So I'm going to take my hand, fold in my fingers, put it on the right side of my chest, like a little bear claw kind of. Right side of my chest, and I'm pressing in and down. And then I'm going to cover my hand with my left hand, take my gaze out over my left shoulder. So now again, I feel a stretch on the right side. And you're welcome to stay right here and breathe and just feel the stretch. You can also experiment with moving your head out and then up and back down. I'm actually going to change out my hands. I think it feels better to do my left hand now that I think of it, rather than my right. Yes. So yeah, switch out your hands and then moving up and down at whatever pace feels okay. And you don't have to go all the way up. Maybe you just go out and hang out. Notice how that feels. And allowing these movements to be really gentle and really mindful, and allowing your sense of curiosity to guide you. So we're not trying to go as fast as possible or push ourselves as hard as possible. We're really wanting to slow down and just be curious and feel into what this is like. These exercises are not meant to be intense, they're meant to be simple and gentle. All right, so eventually coming back to center and then switching side. So now right hand, left side of the chest, left hand on top, and same thing, kind of pressing in and dragging down just a little bit, bringing a little bit of traction into the chest, the fascia on the chest and the neck. And then now I'm looking over my right shoulder towards the ground. You can stay here, or you can experiment with moving the head out and up and back down. And then finding your own exploration, your own rhythm. Do you want to keep moving the head? Or do you want to stay in one spot for a bit? And eventually, once you feel balance on both sides, you'll come on back up to center. Maybe a deep breath arises. That's typically a sign of the nervous system kind of relaxing, the relaxation response kicking in. We've got one more exercise here seated, and it's along the same lines where we're gonna drop one ear over to one shoulder. You can start on either side. And then chin to chest. And switch sides. So doing half revolutions here. I'm taking this slowly, chin to chest, stretching into the back of the neck, right ear to right shoulder. And keep going for a little bit. Again, taking this as slowly as you would like. You are balanced on both sides again, come back through center and know that, again, you can always pause this and keep going a little longer. You can adjust timing of things to suit you and your needs and what you have available. All right, so the next two stretches I'm going to show you, we're going to be on our backs. And you're going to want, I should have said this in the beginning, but you're going to want to have a yoga block and then a yoga strap. And I have made a big loop with my strap. We're going to use this last. I'm starting with the block first. So go ahead and make your way down to your back. Place the block, so you could either do it at the middle height or the shortest height. I'm going to start with the middle height. This is going to go right under the base of my skull, my occiput. Hi, Noble. Okay, so as you make your way down to your back, you're going to place the block right behind your head. So the top of the block will be supporting the base of your skull, the bony ridge called the occiput, the back of your skull. And again, you can start at the middle height, maybe release down to the shorter height if that feels better for you. I find that when you do use the middle height, because you have a narrower base, that you can get more of a massage on the back of the head and neck, which feels nice, but do whatever works for you. First option is to just hang out here. Just let your head be totally supported by the block. You might notice a stretch on the back of the neck or a little bit of a massage underneath the occiput. You can hang out here for as long as you'd like, as long as this feels good. You can also straighten your legs if that feels okay in your body. That might intensify the stretch, that might also create some discomfort in the lower back. So do what you prefer. Another option here is to move your head and neck from side to side. So this again creates a bit more of a massage on the back of the neck, which I think feels really good, but it might be too intense for some folks. Just gently move the side at whatever pace, whatever pressure you prefer. You can always stop in a spot if you find like a tight spot and massage right there for a second or two. Maybe you eventually find your way back to stillness, hanging out for a little bit again at the end. And eventually you'll take the block away and let your head rest straight back down onto your mat and just let everything settle, receiving the benefits of that pose, that exercise. And here's my straps. The next thing we're going to do is take our strap. So you want to have a big loop set up with your strap, looking something like this. And essentially what we're aiming for is to have the loop be about the same length as our leg. You can buy straps in different lengths, just so you know. If you have longer legs, you may want to buy a slightly longer strap. But for today, we will improvise and make it work. So once you have your loop set up, you're going to put the buckle on the side so you can reach it with your hand in case you need to adjust the size of the strap. And then you're going to put the side of the strap behind your head, just like where the block was. Loop it around the tops of your ears, and then place one foot or both feet into the other side of the strap. And you want to place the strap around the ball of your foot. So you can see it's pretty far up my foot, almost to my toes. It's not on the sole or the middle of my foot. It's on the ball of my foot. And that's so I can press into it and create traction. So I'm actually going to have both of my feet in the strap. Once I'm set up, I'm going to let my head and neck completely relax. So no, it's not doing any work. Muscles in my head and neck, just chilling. And then I'm going to press into the strap to create that traction, and then let my head and neck relax even more. Let my arms relax. You may need to adjust it a little bit. So personally, right here feels awesome for me. It's like a hammock for my head. I'm pressing into it a decent amount to create some traction. You can explore how much traction feels most helpful for you. The other thing that you can do, obviously you can come in and out of it. So you can stay here, or you can kind of ease out, come back in. You can also press one foot at a time, which creates like a swaying sensation in the head, allowing the head to drift from side to side. So explore here. See what is most interesting, most helpful for you today. You can take, again, one foot out. And just hang out here for a few minutes or less or more. This particular stretch can be really great, not just for the head and neck, but also if you're noticing that you have jaw tension or eye tension. We have a lot of muscles and a lot of ocular nerves that connect into the back of the skull here, the occiput. So if you're noticing eye strain, doing something like this could be really helpful. And then whenever you are complete, you will gently remove the strap from your feet and from your head and place it to the side and just be still. couple of breaths here, just allowing everything to settle and absorb. And then I will show you one more pose. So you'll very slowly make your way up to a seat. Let your head and neck come up at the end. Oh, I got a bunch of snap, crackle, pops on my neck just now. That's a good sign. Things are moving. All right, so for this last pose, you're gonna wanna have a chair. So whatever chair you have, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I have a yoga chair here, which is a folding chair with no back. And I have a couple of blankets stacked on top of it. And you can do this really even on a table or on a couch or a stool. You just want something that you can fold forward onto, that will support your head and neck. So I'm going to widen my legs and feet, taking a wide leg forward fold. And as I come down, my forehead and head are going to rest on the blanket. My hands are going to take hold of the legs of the chair, and I'm just going to rest here. So you might feel a little bit of a stretch in the back of the legs, but the purpose of this pose is not to stretch the hamstrings, it's to support the head and neck. So you can adjust your stance, maybe bend your knees a little bit if you need to, or stack up more props on the chair to make it higher so it's not intense on the hamstrings. And then you can stay here for a couple of minutes. Again, letting the head and neck just relax, not doing any work. Notice the feeling of support underneath your forehead. And once you're ready to release, you'll bend your knees a little bit, start to shimmy the feet a little closer together. Press more weight into your hands. Let your head and neck come up really slowly. So starting to unfold, but keeping your head and neck down. Slowly making your way up to the top. And finding your mountain pose. So eyes can be open or closed, but just take a moment at the very end just to be still. You may even scan back through everything that we just did and take a mental note of the practices that felt most helpful for you, knowing that you can come back to these anytime you want to, in whatever order you want to. You can cherry pick, I like this wasn't the best for me. Do your own thing, experiment with it all. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can leave a comment or just send me a message, and I'd be happy to chat with you. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day with a really good feeling, or a little bit better feeling head and neck and jaw and eyes. Bye.